warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we are going to continue our lesson on topic 4, objectives of halal business. So previously we've talked on the economic objectives of conducting or doing a halal business. Now we are moving on to the social objectives of a halal business. So we have roughly around one, two, three, four, five, or six objective under social objectives of halal business. But of course, there can be more than this. But for the sake of our discussion today, we'll be following the guidelines or the notes in our book. And so, according to our book, there's six social objectives of conducting a halal business. Okay, social. What do we mean by social? Social meaning something that has to do with the society. So we are basically doing halal business um, personally, meaning it's our personal business, but whether we realize it or not, we have this kind of a responsibility to the society. Even though it's our personal business, but in a way, we can actually still contribute to the society. So this is the social objectives that we want while conducting our halal business. What's the first social objective? Meaning to the society. First is to supply desired halal goods at reasonable prices. For example, we've talked plenty of times previously. Say you are doing a halal business, a halal slaughterhouse, a halal slaughterhouse. So this is a very essential service in the society. And if there's someone local, someone from that particular place who open up a business in a halal slaughterhouse, it can actually help the society, the community there to to have easy access to halal slaughter meat. And of course, when it's local, they can get it pretty much at a lower price compared to you know, each time you want to consume halal meat, you need to import it from somewhere else. Worse, you need to import it, from a foreign country. So of course that will increase the price and the cost to the society. So if we have a lot of local producer in the local halal producer goods in the society, it would pretty much help the society. So this is a social objective. You are giving back. Of course, you are earning profit, but at the same time, you are giving back to the society. You are helping them, and then of course they are also helping you to get more profit. So this is an example. So we have countries out there where Muslims are a minority in a majority or non-Muslim country, um, where to get perhaps simple halal products, they need to get it from outside, and of course at a higher price. But Alhamdulillah, we are so blessed here in Malaysia because we are in a majority Muslim country where we have a lot of local producer. You don't have to each and every time you want to eat or consume or do or wear something, halal, you need to get it from outside, like tudung, all of this, something related to our deen, our religion, you can have easy access to it. So this is what we mean by supplying desired halal goods at reasonable prices. And because it's locally produced, of course, and you can reduce the price and give competitive prices to the society. And second one is fair remuneration to employees, wages, pay, salary. Of course, when you open up a business, you have to have workers. You have to have workers' salary. So we are actually opening up opportunities. And people like it when there's job opportunities. You look out there, what happens to country where there's not so much of job opportunities, even though the citizens, even though the people are very qualified, highly qualified, talented, they have this um, you know good education, qualification, but there's not so much of a job opportunities. They have to go somewhere else. They have to go to other countries just to get, you know, jobs. And perhaps it's hard for them to open it because not everyone, you know, have the ability to open up or a business, especially when you are a beginner. Like I say, when you want to open up a business, you must make sure that you have enough capital. And in order to have a capital, perhaps you must start off first by working with other people. But how do you work with other people to collect your enough capital when there's no job opportunities? This is what happens to Bangladesh, to you know, to Muslim countries, perhaps like Tunisia, Maghribi. These are all qualified people. They have degrees. Some even have masters and PhD. But unfortunately, there's not enough job opportunities there. And plus, you know, with the bribery and the corruption, and it makes it harder for people to get jobs. Kata based on their qualification, you need to use this, you know, large cables. You need to have connections with wealthy people, VIPs, politicians, just to get a job. So those people who don't have this connection or all these cables, so they are left without any job. So what they can do is just, you know, sometimes they go to other countries. If you go and interview those people, those Bangladeshi people, you know, working at the petrol stations or anywhere, right? Even the Pakistani, some even have degrees, engineering degrees, and a lot of fields. You know, not only engineering, some even IT. So a lot of them are IT experts, but there's no job opportunities. Or basically, the competitions are uh, very high over there. So when we open up a company, and whether we like it or not, we need to employ people to work with us. You can't be doing everything by yourself. And so when you open up a company, so you can give job opportunities, you can give salary, and at the end of the day, you keep the economy rolling, right? Keep the economy moving. People have money. When they have money, they can spend. When they spend, they can, you know, generate more income and then buy more things. And other people's get their money, and then they can, you know, get married, and then population will increase, and a lot of good things will happen, inshallah. So when you give remuneration, it can be in the form of a fixed salary. It can also be in the form of a commission. And commission, so commission is, you know, basically based on your performance, and the more you work, inshallah, you'll get more, and you'll get more commission. But some companies, you know, uh, they give fixed income. Okay, these are the, you know, yang biasa lah. And people like me, I get fixed income, even though I work harder or I work less. Other people work harder or lesser. Ada orang main ke whatever kan, apa on tank ke, but we still get fixed salary. Okay, this is the first concept, but we do have companies out there that they give based on commission. And those people who they hire, they call them agents. They call them agents. For example, those people who are working like in real estate agent, and they don't have to, you know, to be loyal to one company. They can basically be agent to many company, and they can work pretty much, you know, according to their own time and, you know, preference. But the more they work, inshallah, they'll get more commission. So it's pretty much more flexible, but it's fair. If you work harder, you get more commission. If you work um, malas-malas sikit, of course you get lesser lah. But for those who are in the fixed income, like I say, you work harder ke, sama juga. Kadang-kadang kerja lebih masa, not necessarily your boss will give you kata extra pay, tak juga kan, you still get the same pay. Okay, but this, whatever it is, both companies, they what they did is they give job opportunities, and this is good, like I say, and it's good, and because at the end of the day, we want to share the profit, share the happiness, share the money. Why? Like I always say, having a lot of wealthy people around, rich people, people with money is always better for the society, for the country, for everyone. So jangan you don't have to feel macam dengki ke ada ramai orang kaya. Ramai orang kaya lagi bagus sebenarnya kat dunia ni kan. So insya-Allah, because we have this one hadis, and we have this one hadis according to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, takadul faqru yakunu kufran. Sometimes faqru meaning poverty can lead to kufur. When people are just too poor and they don't have enough money, they're just too poor, it can lead to kufur. Kufur meaning sometimes you can lose your iman because you're too poor. Which is why it is wrong to assume that Islam is a religion that doesn't support economy, doesn't like you to be rich. This is a misconception. We in Islam, we like you to be rich, wealthy people. We like you to work hard, and like I say, the more richer you are, the better. And of course, the more richer you are, and the more kata pious you are lah. Because of course, we want you to pay your zakat, to pay your sedekah. How on earth are you going to pay all this zakat if you have no money? Kan? So again, we want rich people, especially rich Muslim around. Okay, that's number 2. And number 3, employment generation. Again, this is quite related to the previous one. And employment generation, like I said, we have countries where the unemployment rate are very high, which is not good. This is economically, if you are speaking to economics experts, economicians, these are economists, whatever you call them, this is not a good sign. And usually, high unemployment rate will lead to other social problems, and will lead to people would go on strike, and so usually it would lead to social problem. And if you still remember on what happened on 2006, what a phenomenon, what like we call them Arab Spring. Of course, it happens in the Middle East, the Arab countries, and it started off in Tunisia, and then it berjangkit to Egypt and a lot of other countries. It started off due to this high resentment, and because there's high unemployment in the country, even though the citizens are very, like I say, most of them are clever people with qualifications, but corruptions are very high, are very prevalent in the country. There's a lot of mismanagement, and bad things happening in the government, in the politicians, with the politicians, and whatever. And just one event, and finally it sparked, or it triggered all this. The country, the people rise up and to go against the government. And one of the reasons, and of course there's this specific a particular case of this Ahmad Bouziza, who burned himself and who set himself on fire. But why he did it? Because of this corruption and mismanagement in the country. And then it creates anger. It triggered anger among the unemployed, and then they went on a strike, and eventually it started off. It starts what we call, not what we call, I mean the European and the Westerners, they call it as the Arab Spring. And finally, the Prime Minister has to step down, and changes have to occur lah. And okay, this is what like I say. So unemployment is never good. And whether you are employed by the government, employed to the private sector, or you are working by yourself, what we want people to have jobs, have something to do. When they have something to do, meaning they have money. When they have money, and then they can afford all of this, the basic things, and the food, shelter, clothes, and then we can keep the economy rolling and life, and to sustain life. So, which is why employment generation is good. And so when you are wealthy, perhaps in the future, now you are working under someone, and then in the future perhaps you can open up your own company, and then when you open up a new company, and then you can employ other people. So that is what we want, which is why the government always gives out incentives. And previously during the first PKP, and when a lot of people cannot go to work, and some company cut salary and to their workers, the government give out insentif, bagi insentif, and untuk bagi gaji kepada pekerja, supaya so that people won't be too affected by PKP. So that is how important employment is. Again, because of money. And lack of money would lead to a lot of problems, social problems, and even health problems. Okay, and next, number 4 is fair return to investor. Fair return to investor. Like I say, some people it's always good to have enough capital to open up your company, but on top of that, and of course, it's also good to get someone to invest in your company. To get someone to invest in your company. Perhaps it's a partnership, it's a joint venture, whatever it is you call it. And so when we have, some people have money, have talent, have time to conduct a business. Some people they have this desire, but they don't have the time. Some people they have the money, but they don't have you know the other means to open up a business. So when these three people meet up, perhaps we can all benefit one another. So I say I have the money, but I don't have the talent, nor do I have the time. So I can invest my money. And so other people may have the talent and the expertise, but they don't have enough money. And and so all of them, so we can combine these people in a joint venture to open up a business. So I'm of course, because I'm giving up my money, so I'm an investor. I'm an investor. So at the end of the day, and I would like to have some profit, and from the investment that I did, and that I joined. So at the end of the day, even though I'm not actively conducting a business, or doing a business, but I have the profit and the dividend. So we are all investing in something, and so this is what we want. And so we want to have fair return to investors. And companies, like there's a lot of companies out there. You can always invest, buying shares. And at the end of the day, when the company goes well, they make a lot of profit, and then we can get dividend. And so that's a fair return to us. And biasanya hujung-hujung tahun, awal tahun ni, a lot of people we are waiting for how much dividend is EPF going to give, how much dividend is what Tabung Haji is going to give, ASB, because we are all investors. And so investment relies a lot on economic situation. So now that I've given my money, of course, at the end of the day, I would want to have, some return on the investment that I did. So, which is why it's good to have business going, rolling, and good businesses, because not only us benefit, but our investors can benefit as well, even though they are not actively doing business. They are sleeping partners je lah. Okay, and then next is social welfare. What do you mean by social welfare? Of course, when companies do well in their business, they gain a lot of profit. They can always give back to the society. They can give back through CSR, and companies um, like Milo, Nestle, and they invest a lot, on CSR, and they give out macam free Milo, free breakfast to promote healthy breakfast, healthy food intake, and so this is our social responsibility, which is why it's called CSR, corporate social responsibility. And companies do benefit a lot by doing CSR, because they can cut off uh, their business tax. Of course, companies, they need to pay business tax to the government, 25%, if I'm not mistaken, and they can get some kind of a discount by conducting CSR. So both parties benefit. The society benefits, by getting all this CSR, free CSR, getting free food, free, a lot of things. And the company benefit by getting this discount from the government for the business tax, and the government also benefit. Why? Because the government wants the best for the society, and we don't want company just getting profit for themselves. We want them to contribute back to the society, so everyone is happy, basically. So which is why it's actually not really weird to see a lot of why companies, especially big companies, give giving back to the society. Like I say, Milo, sometimes in terms of, they also give back in terms of um, you know setting up foundation, yayasan, giving out scholarships, and so this is how the society benefits back. And like Petronas, they give a lot of scholarships, and so to the those people, those students who are qualified, and so they can benefit from and this. And then when they came back with their scrolls and all their degrees and qualification, they can give back to the society. So this is what, but this is only possible if the company is making a lot of profit. If you're not making a lot of profit, it's very hard for you to give back to the society, or even to do CSR. Perhaps you can do CSR, but at a small scale, and but only big and profitable companies can give out scholarships. So that's a good thing. Okay. And next, and the last one is payment of government dues. Payment of government dues. What is it? Again, now that you've opened up your business and it's doing well, you've gained a lot of profit. It's time to give back to the government in terms of business tax, income tax, sales tax, excise duty, customs duty, all of the taxes lah. Kena bayar cukai. This is a responsibility of the company, of an individual who are working, kan, orang-orang yang bekerja macam saya. It's my responsibility to pay income tax, to give back to the government. And this money is used by the government to give back to the society, and a bulk of it is used to pay salary, to pay the government, all these civil servant salary. Kebanyakan cukai-cukai ini, and kebanyakannya digunakan untuk bayar gaji civil servants, and to pay the salary of the teachers, the doctors, the whatever you call them. So which is why they always call it taxpayers' money. It's actually true. And so the civil servants, we expect them to do their job properly, because Their salary is basically the taxpayers' money. People like me, everyone lah, semua orang punya duit lah. And so, and we need the civil servants. We need the civil servants. It's important, and in a country to have the civil servants, the doctors, the teachers, the whatever department or unit you are, and we need them to make sure the smooth running of the country and the government. So, and it's only possible if the government have enough money. And where does the government gets all the money? Again, from the businesses, from the workers like me. And again, for businesses, they need to pay the business tax 25%. So you give back to the government to pay the civil servant salary, to buat jalan, buat lebuh raya, to construct um, schools, and buat sekolah, buat ini, buat itu kan, provide all this facility. This is basically the government's responsibility to buy vaccines and whatnot. So again, and then all of our the taxes that we pay goes to the government, and at the end of the day, it goes back to the society. So it should be like that, and sepatutnya macam itulah pusingannya, bukannya kita dah bayar nanti dia masuk kat poket-poket orang lain. We don't want that. We don't want those kind of mismanagement and corruption. So basically, if everything goes well, semua orang happy. Basically, semua orang akan happy. So that is what we call by the social objectives of having a halal business.